So here's an update on my garden. It's about 2 weeks later. I'll be putting the dates on the screen if I can find them. So here's all the plants that I've tried to bring back to life. I actually had to rearrange them so that they weren't in the walkway over here because I was going to get in trouble. So they're all here. These ones have not come back, but over here, this bougainvillea is the only one that came back out of all of those ones, the last bunch. I just put some bean sprouts in there, bean seeds that are sprouting. I sprouted them in this sprouting container. There's a little water on the bottom and a humidity chamber so that they stay moist. My cranberry plant is gone. Totally gone. Whenever they're like this, it means they're gone. Breaks off too quickly, too easily. Here's my blueberry plant, who seems to have wanted to grow all the way over here. I have to cut him back. I have to figure that out. His leaves are yellowing, so I'm assuming that means, well, it's new growth, so I'm assuming it means he's deficient in some sort of nutrients. It's either phosphorus or calcium, but probably not calcium since I feed them calcium. Here's my newest basil that hasn't grown very much. I may need to repot it. My oldest basil hasn't grown very much. I think it's the end of the basil season. Still yummy though. Compost bin. Weeds. I thought it would be interesting seeing if I could grow the weeds and figure out what weeds they are. So I don't know what this one is. I don't know what this one is over here. But I know what all the long gangly ones are. The thin ones, these are foxtails. They just haven't gotten big enough to make fluffies. Then I've got my potatoes. They've actually sprouted new stems and leaves. This one is a new potato. And this one is a new potato. He's doing very well considering the caterpillars like getting to them. See, they got to this one. And I have this little new sprouting here, right there, of a potato. And dragon fruit. Number 1. Number 2. That little bit is new growth for that dragon fruit. Then we have all the lantanas that I brought back to life. The bougainvillea. The ginger here, which has started another sprout, which means it's growing this way. Leeks and onions. These two are the leeks. And one has a flower. And the other one is about to. And we got the lettuce, which is growing very tall. And what I do with the lettuce when I harvest it, I get either really clean fingers or really clean scissors, and I harvest the bottom leaves, so then when the lettuce grows, it grows up and makes more leaves. It actually helps promote the growth of the lettuce, because otherwise it just stays the same size. Some more green onions. And here's my hollyhock from the back. It's not doing very well. I repotted it in this pot, but this pot doesn't have any holes, so I have to constantly watch the moisture content. I think I'm just gonna have to let it dry out for a while. Poor little guy. Okay, and that's it for the update on this garden. I have to put some dirt over those beans so they can grow and water them in. And of course, there's 3 succulents here that I've been propagating in the back. And poinsettia from Christmas. Plants that I'm propagating. Another sweet potato plant. I have to take that slip off. It's a little bit tall. Once it gets to be about this tall, about 6 inches, you just either cut it off or pull it off, kind of wiggle it off. Stick it in some water, like up here, until they grow roots. Then we go down here and stick them in a cup. With holes, of course, because it has to be well draining. Then they grow. Here we have a question mark plant who seems to bloom at night. It's a very pretty white flower right here. Let me come down here. The garden of green onions and squash and another sweet potato and a lot of sweet potatoes, a lot of different sweet potatoes that I'm propagating. This one's purple, if you can see that. It's a purple sweet potato, so I definitely want to propagate this one. Oh, it's ready. The slip is tall enough. I got all the seeds from the plants that I have. This guy, another piece of the other one. I reorganized my sweet potatoes. I put a stick in the pot to see if I could help them grow up the stick, but that didn't quite work. So I just decided to put a string on the stick and attach it to the roof so that the sweet potato can grow up that, because it's a vine. A little tidbit about sweet potato plants is you don't want to eat them. When you break them, they have latex inside their stems, so they are actually toxic. Pretty much anything with latex inside is toxic. Some things you can cook in order to make them edible, but a lot of things you can't. And over here we have the other side with a squash there, I believe. And that used to be my lemon balms, but they are non-existent anymore. I just planted some seeds in there. We'll see how that goes. And here, I did an experiment. I took a Walmart bag and I put my turmeric that sprouted in the front over here inside the Walmart bag, and I put this on top of it because I think birds had been coming over here. All the dirt was rustled. Green onion, not doing very well. Forget-me-not flowers. That I harvested. Now they're growing some more flowers. I harvested them for the seeds. Strawberries. They should be white strawberries. We'll see how that goes. Hibiscus. Ginkgo. Hasn't done much, just sat there. Same as the other night blooming flower. Hypostis babies. A little piece of the jasmine plant that I have. Papaya trees. Papaya babies. Bean sprouts. And then back over here. I have an arugula. Edible flowers. Jasmine. It's not the edible one, it's the ground cover one. And all these sweet potatoes that I need to propagate and water. Okay, that's it for my garden in the back. Some more bean sprouts. I have to figure out what to do with them. Okay.